Hello, good evening, and welcome once again to Drunk Shakespeare's production of Macbeth. Tonight we finished with all of these very talented folks, and we hope you enjoy the piece.
You know your own degrees. Sit down! At first and the last, the hearty welcome. Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time, we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Both sides are even. Here I'll sit in the midst. Be large in mirth. Anon we'll drink a matter. The table round. There's blood upon thy face.
Tis Banquo's then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for FLEANCE. If thou didst it, thou art the non-parel.
Most royal sir. FLEANCE is escaped.
There comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound in to saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo safe.
Aye, my good lord, safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes upon his head, least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed, no teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. Keep the soul that is not often vouched. What is a making is given with welcome. To feed were best at home, from whence the force to meet this ceremony. Meeting were bare without it.
Sweet.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is so that is not often vouched. What is a making is given with welcome. To feed were best at home. From thence the sort to meet is ceremony. Meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrance, sir. Now, good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both.
It please your highness sit.
Here had we now our country's honor roofed, or the graced person of our Banquo present, who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please it your highness to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Do not shake thy gory locks at me!
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought, he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts impostors to true fear would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorized by her grandam. Shameless self. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there! Look, behold, look! Lo, how say you? Oh, why? What care I? If thou canst nod, speak too. If charnel houses and graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites.
Quite unmanned in folly.
If I stand there, I saw him.
Oh, fie, for shame.
Blood hath been shed ere now. In the golden time, ere humane statue purged the gentle wheel. Aye, and since, too, murders have been performed too terrible for the ear. The time has been that when the brains were out, the man would die and there an end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns and push us from their stools. Now this is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. Then I'll sit down. Give me some wine, fill full. I drink to the general joy of the table, and to our dear friend BANQUO, whom we miss, would he were here. To all and him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties.
And the pledge.
No pledge.
Avaunt, and quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee! Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold! Thou hast no speculation in these eyes which thou dost glare with!
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it was the pleasure of the time.
What man dare I dare? Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or the Hircian tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble, or be alive again and dare me to the desert with thy sword. If trembling I inhabit then, protest me the baby of a girl. Hence, unreal shadow! Unreal mockery, hence! Why so? Being gone, I am a man again. Pray you, sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange even to the disposition that I owe, and now I think, behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
Will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by maggot pies and choughs and rooks brought forth the secretest man of blood. What's the night?
Most at odds with morning, which is which.
How sayest thou that MACDUFF denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them but in the house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will, the Weïrd sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know my worst means the worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give way. I am in blood stepped so far, should I wade no more, returning as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, must be acted ere they be scanned.
You lack the seasons of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are but young indeed.
How now, Hecate? You look angrily.
Have I not reason? Beldams as you are, saucy and overbold, how did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death, and I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part, or show the glory of our art? And which is worse, all you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now, get you gone, and at the pit of Acheron, meet me in the morning. Thither he will come to know his destiny. Your vassals and your spells provide, your charms and everything beside. I am for the air. This night I'll spend unto a dismal and a fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere noon. Upon the corner of the moon, there hangs a vaporous drop profound. I'll catch it ere it come to the ground, and that distilled by magic sleights shall raise such artificial sprites as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes above wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Hark, I am called. My little spirit, see, sits in a foggy cloud and stays for me.
Come, let's make haste. Soon she'll be back again.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Marry, he was dead, and the right valiant Banquo walked too late. Whom you may say, if it please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late. Who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for DONALBAIN to kill their gracious father? Damn it fact, how it did grieve Macbeth. Did he not straight in pious rage the two delinquents tear that were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep? Was that not nobly done? Aye, and wisely too, for 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. So that I say, he has borne all things well. And I do think that had he Duncan's sons under his key, as and please heaven he shall not, they should find that 'twere to kill a father, so should Fleance. But peace, for from broad words, and 'cause he failed, his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear, MACDUFF lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court, and is received of the most pious Edward with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither MACDUFF is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid, to wake Northumberland and the warlike Weïrd, that by the help of these, with him above, to ratify the work, we may again give our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquet bloody knives, do faithful homage and receive free honors, all which we pine for now. And this report hath so exasperate the king that he prepares for some attempt of war.
Sent he to MACDUFF?
He did, and with an absolute, "Sir, not I," the cloudy messenger turns me his back, and hums as who should say, "You'll rue the time that clogs me with this answer."
And that well might advise him to caution, to hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this our suffering country under a hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers with him.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harpier cries, 'tis time, 'tis time. Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad that under cold stone days and nights has 31. Sweltered venom sleeping got, boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double,
double,
boil and trouble.
double,
Fire burn, cauldron bubble.
Fillet of finny snake in the cauldron boil and bake. I've nuked into a frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm's sting. Lizard's leg and howlet's wing. For charm of powerful trouble, like how broth boil and bubble. Double,
Double,
toil,
boil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, which is mummy, maw, and gulf of the ravened salt sea shark, root of hemlock digged in the dark, liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat and slips of yew, slivered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and Tartar's lips, finger of a birth-strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the gruel thick and slab, add thereto a tiger's chaldron, for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
Oh, well done. I commend your pains, and everyone shall share the gains. And now about the cauldron sing, like elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is it you do?
A deed.
Deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess, however so you come to know it. Answer me, though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though the yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, though castles topple on their warders' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their foundations, though the treasure of nature's germans tumble all together, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask of you!
Speak.
Demand.
We'll answer. Sayest thou hast rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters?
Call him. Let me see him.
Pour in sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 pharaoh grief that's sweatin', from the murderer's gibbet throw into the flame. Come high or low, thyself in office deftly so. Show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thoughts. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth! 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 Beware, Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me. Enough.
Whatever thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright. But one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another more potent than the first. Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
Had I but 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Live, Macduff! What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this? That like the issue of a king and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Ye lion-mettled proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Birnam wood to high Dunsinane hill shall come against him.
That will never be! Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet bodements, good! Rebellious dead, rise never till the wood of Burnham rise, and our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know. Why sinks that cauldron, and what noise is this?
Show.
Show.
Show. Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too much like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Thy crime, thou crown, dost sear my eyeballs, and thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow, is it like the first? A third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A fourth! Start eyes! Oh, what? Wilt the line stretch out until the crack of doom? Another yet. A seventh. Oh, no, I'll see no more. And yet the eighth appears, who bears a glass, which shows me many more, and some I see the twofold bowls and treble scepters carry. The horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true, for the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me, and points at them for this. What? Is this so?
Aye, sir, all this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his sprite and show the best of our delight. I'll charm the air to give a sound while you perform your antic round, that this great king may kindly say our duties. Did his welcome pay?
Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand aye accursed in the calendar. Come in without there!
Your Grace's will.
Saw you the Weïrd sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was it came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is overtook unless the deed go with it. From this moment the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand, and even now to crown my thoughts with axe, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff will I surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge his sword, his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool, this deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more fights! Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight is madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom? To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly? He loves us not. He wants the natural touch for the poor wren. The most diminutive of birds will fight her young ones in her nest against the owl. All is the fear and nothing is the love. As little as the wisdom where the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest cousin, I pray you school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves, when we hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float upon a violent and wild sea, each way and move. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I am so much a fool, should I stay longer. It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sara, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
Like butter.
Sara, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, Mother.
What? With worms and flies?
With what I get. I mean, and so do they.
Poor bird. That's never fear the net nor line, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, Mother? Poor birds, they are not set for. My father is not dead, for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at market.
Then you'll buy him to sell again.
Oh, thou speakest with all thy wit, and yet in faith with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, Mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Every one that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Every one.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools. For there are liars and swearers enough to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt I do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you were not, it were a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talkest.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not to you known, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take a homely woman's advice, be not found here, hence with your little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. To do worse to you were fell cruelty, which is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm, but I remember now I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable, to do good sometime accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up that womanly defense to say that I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayest find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shaggy villain!
What? You egg! You fry of treachery!
He has killed me, mother! Run away, I pray you! Murder!
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the more sword, and like good men bestride our downfall in birth. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, and that it resounds, as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out like syllable of dollar.
What I believe, I will. What know, believe. And what I can redress, as I shall find the time to, friend, I will. What you've spoke, it may be so perchance. This tyrant whose sole name blisters our tongues was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge, but I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul would wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I've lost my hopes.
Perchance even there where I did find my doubt. Why in that rawness left you wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave taking? I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonors, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy basest store, for goodness dare not check thee where thou thy wrongs. The title is afeard, fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou thinkest, for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich East to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not as in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal, there would be hands uplifted in my right, and here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer, and more sundry ways than ever, by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted, that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious smacking of every sin that has a name, but there's no bottom, none. In my voluptuousness, your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust and my desire. All constant impediments would o'erbear that did oppose my will. Better Macbeth than such a one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny. It has been the untimely emptying of the happy throne and fall of many kings. But fear not, yet to take upon you what is yours, you may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem whole. The time you may so hoodwink. We have willing dames enough. There cannot be the vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With this there grows in my most ill-composed affections such a stanceless avarice that were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels and his brother's house, and my more having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more, that I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
The avarice speaks deeper, growing with more pernicious root than summer seeming lust, and it hath been the sport of our slain king, yet do not fear, Scotland hath chosen to fill up your will. Of your mere own, all these are portable, with other graces weighed.
But I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting it in many ways. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, roar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Scotland, Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern. No, not to live, O nation miserable with an untitled tyrant bloody scepter. When shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accursed, and does blaspheme his breed, thy royal father? Was a most sainted king the queen that bore thee, oftener upon her knees than on her feet. Died every day she lived, fare thee well. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself have banished me from Scotland, oh my breath! Thy hope ends here!
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth by many of these trains hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from over-credulous haste. But God above, deal between thee and me, for even now I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak mine own detraction. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself are strangers to my nature. I am yet unknown to woman, never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own, at no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, and delight no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed, before thy here approach, old Weïrd with 10,000 warlike men already at a point was setting forth. Now will together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once, just hard to reconcile.
Well, more anon. Comes the king forth, I pray you.
Speak.
Where are we? I was just listening and not following.
Well, more anon. Comes the king forth, I pray you.
Aye, sir. There are a crew of wretched souls that stay his cure. Their malady convinces the greatest say of art, but at his touch, such sanctity hath heaven given his hand, they presently amend.
I thank you, doctor.
What's the disease he means?
'Tis called the evil, a most miraculous work in this good king, which often, since my here remain in England, I have seen him do. How he solicits heaven himself best knows, but strangely visited people, all swollen and ulcerous, pitiful to the eye. The mere despair of surgery he cures, hanging a golden stamp about their necks. Put on with his holy prayers, and 'tis spoken to the succeeding royalty he leaves the healing benediction. With this strange virtue he hath a heavenly gift of prophecy, and sundry blessings hang about his throne that speak him full of grace.
See, who comes here?
My countryman, but yet I know him not.
My ever gentle cousin, welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God, the times remove that means that makes us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Send Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing, but who knows, nothing is once seen to smile. Where sighs and groans and shrieks that rent the air are made, not where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead men's knell is there scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps, dying or ere they sicken.
Oh, relation, too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute seems a new one.
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace, huh?
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
But not a negard of your speech. How goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, which was, to my belief, witnessed the rather for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be their comfort. We are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good Weïrd and 10,000 men, an older and a better soldier none that Christendom gives out.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause, or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess had it.
Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner we're on the quarry of these murdered deer, to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven, what man ne'er pull your hat upon your brows? Give sorrow words, the grief that does not speak, whispers the o'erwrought heart and bids it break.
My children too.
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too.
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All of my pretty ones. Say all, oh hell, kite all! What all my pretty chickens, and then down at one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so. But I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part, sinful MACDUFF, favor, or struck for thee? Not that I am, not for their own detriments, but for mine. For slaughter and their souls, heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger, blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes, and braggart with my tongue, but gentle heavens, cut short all intermission front to front. Bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself within my sword link. Set him, if he escape heaven, forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed, yet all the while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature to receive at once the benefit of sleep and do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo, you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
How came she by that light?
Oh, light stood by her. She has light by her continually, 'tis her command.
You see, her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense is shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her continuing this a quarter of an hour.
Yet, here's a spot.
I will said only it comes from her, and to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out! Out, damn spot, I say! 1, 2. Well, then 'tis time to do it. Hell, it's murky. Fie, my lord, fie, a soldier and a fiend. What need we fear who knows it when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?
You mark that?
The Queen of Life had a wife. Where is she now? What? These hands never be clean. No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You mar all this with the starting.
Go to. You have known what you should not.
She spoke what she should not, I'm sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Is the smell of the blood still? All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten these little hands. Oh.
What is there? The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well.
Pray God it be so.
It is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep, who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out of the grave.
Even so?
To bed! To bed! They're knocking at the gate. Come! Give me your hand. What's done? Cannot be undone. To bed! To bed! To bed!
Will she go to bed now?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More she needs the divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance and still keep eyes upon her. So good night. My mind she has mated and amazed my sight. I think that I dare not speak.
Good night, dear doctor.
The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good MACDUFF. Revenges burn in them, their fear causes would be to do with bleeding the grim alarm, excite the mortified man.
Near Burnham Wood shall we meet them. That way there are they coming.
Who knows if Donalbain be with his brother?
For certain, sir, he is not. I have a file of all the gentry. There is Seward's son and many unrough youths that even now protest the first of manhood.
What does the tyrant?
Great Dunsinane he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad. Others that lesser hate him do call it valiant fury. But for certain he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule.
Now does he feel his secret murders sticking on his hands. Now minutely revolts upbraid his faith breach. Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him, like a giant's robe upon a dwarvish thief.
Who then shall blame his pestered senses to recoil and start when all this within him does condemn itself for being there?
Well, march we on, to give obedience where 'tis truly owed. Meet we the medicine of the sickly weal, and with him pour we in our country's purge each drop of us.
For so much as it needs to dew the sovereign flower and drown the weeds. Make we our march towards Burnham.
Bring me no more reports, let them fly all! Till Burnham wood remove to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false stains, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon! Where goest thou, that goose look?
There are 10,000.
Geese, villain.
Soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face and o'erred thy fear, thy lily-livered boy. What soldiers, Patch? Death of thy soul? Those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear. What soldiers, Whey-face?
The English force, so please you.
Now take thy face hence. Seyton! I am sick at heart when I behold Seyton, I say! This push will cheer me ever or deceit me now. Oh, I have lived long enough. My way of life is fallen into the sere, the yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age as honor, love, obedience, troops of friends I must not look to have, but in their stead curses, not loud, but deep, mouth honor breathe, which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Seyton!
What's your gracious pleasure?
What word more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till my bones, my flesh be hacked. Give me mine armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses. Scur the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armor. How does thy patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow, raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs, I'll none of it. Come, put mine armor on. Give me my staff. Seyton, send out. Doctor, the thanes fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water off my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. Pull it off, I say. What rhubarb senna or what purgative drug would scour these English hands, sir? Hearest thou of them?
Aye, my good lord. Your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Well, bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Ride from Dunsinane away and clear profit again should hardly draw me here.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand that Chambers will be safe.
You doubt it nothing.
What wood is this before us?
This is the wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bow and bear it before him. Thereby shall be shadow. The numbers of our host and make discovery ere in report of us. Shall be done.
We learn no other, but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane and will endure our setting down before't.
'Tis his main hope. For where there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt. And none serve with him but constrained things whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just censors attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative their unsure hopes relate, but certain issues stroke must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
Hang out our banners on the outward wall. The cry is still they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie, till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home. What is that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I had almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has come, the time had been, when my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were in it. I have supped full with horrors. Direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
Oh, she should have died hereafter. Then would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow! And tomorrow. And tomorrow. Creeps in this petty pace from day to day till the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out! Out, brief candle! Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me endure your wrath, if it be not so. Within the 3 mile may you see it coming. I say a moving grove.
If thou speakest false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood do come to Dunsinane. Arm! Arm and out! If this which he avouches does appear, there is no flying hence nor tearing here. I begin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell! Blow wind, come rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back!
You're muted, Malcolm.
Now near enough. Your leafy screens, show down, throw down, and show like those you are. You, worthy uncle, shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Worthy MACDUFF, and we shall take upon us what remains to do according to our order.
Very well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath. Those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one I am to fear or none.
What is thy name?
Thou wilt be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou call'st thyself a hotter name, then thy all is hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, no more fearful.
Thou allowest a board, tyrant. With thy sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
Thou wast born of woman. But swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by a man, but's of woman born.
That way the noise is. Tyrant! Show thy face! If thou beest slain, and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghost will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns whose arms are hired to bear the slaves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword, with an unbattered edge I sheath again undeeded. There thou shalt be. By this great clatter, one of the greatest note seems rooted. Let me find him, fortune. And more I beg not.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered, the tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in their war. The day almost itself professes yours, and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die upon my own sword? Whilst I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound. Turn!
Of all men else have I avoided thee. But get thee back! My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword, thou bloody villain. Then terms can give thou out.
Thou losest labor. As easy mayest the entrenchant air with thine keen sword impress me, as much as make thee bleed, let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born.
Spare thy charm, and let the angel whom thou hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb a tyrant!
Accursed be the tongue that tells thee so, for it hath cowed the better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believed than palter with us in a double sense that keep the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope? I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee as our rare monsters are, painted on a pole, and under it, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with a rabble's curse, though Burnham would be come to Dunsinane, and thou, opposed being of no woman born yet, I will try the last. Before my body I lay this warlike shield. Lay on, MACDUFF, and damned be him that first cries, hold! Enough! Ah! Ah!
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
MACDUFF is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died.
Then he is dead?
Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Had he his hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Why, then, God's soldier be he. I had as many sons as I have heirs. I would not wish them a fairer death, and so his knell is knolled.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score, and so God be with him. Here comes newer comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head! The time is free! I see thee compass with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak by salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail!
Hail, King of Scotland!
We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls the first that ever Scotland in such an honor named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as a calling home of our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought by self and violent hands, took off her life. This and what needful else that calls upon us by the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.